right, welcome back to Business with Shani and Sandra. I'm Shani.
And I'm Sandra.
And today, of course, for you all who missed the first half, we have a wonderful attorney. His name is Osvaldo Cubano from Cubano and Associates. He's a criminal defense attorney that's helping also, and
real estate,
he does real estate, corporate
contract law,
contract,
Personal injury medical malpractice also.
personal injury and medical malpractice.
and
Maybe right now you want to take the time to give them your phone number.
your website.
Yes. My phone number is 212-859-3511, and that's at CCABAN Law at AOL.com. C Caban Law.
Okay, say it one more time.
Telephone number is 212-859-3511 and CCABANLAW at AOL.com.
All right.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, so we were talking before the break, we were talking about criminals. You know, when criminals are guilty, and sometimes lawyers have to just go and present their stories, and then it's just up to the jury to actually decide if this person should go to jail or not. So that's what we're discussing.
Yes.
And we just want to talk a little bit more about, criminal law, and then we're going to jump into more of the business aspects. So we were talking about kids.
Yes.
And that you go and you give back and you talk to them. Maybe right now you should educate kids on the little things that they do.
But let's take it a step back further and find out him growing up.
Oh, yeah.
A native New Yorker.
Yeah.
A native New Yorker who was, a product of the public school.
Yeah.
Product of CUNY System City College, University in New York. What inspired you to become a lawyer?
Yeah, let's do that first.
Well, a lot of things inspired me to become a lawyer. I think that for me, it was more of a love of history. I loved growing up, learning about other societies and people's stories. And as a lawyer, that's probably the best attribute you have to have. You have to really like people and like to listen to people. And that combination, plus seeing the injustice in our society, in the schools, the high schools where I came from, where I felt that people of color were steered into certain professions, and they weren't nurtured to go to certain schools. I felt that was an injustice.
I liked hearing your story, but when you say you think they're stirred to go to other professions, what do you mean?
Well, I have nothing against blue collar work, but when I went to high school, that's what the high school basically was advocating. Going to the post office, apply for the police department, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think those are great jobs, but they didn't advocate for people to go to college. It was more like take the civil service exams.
Right, take the civil service exams. Be the construction worker, the security guard, police officer.
Nothing wrong with those.
Right, there's nothing wrong with
just civil service positions.
Exactly.
You work. They don't want you to pursue higher education, pretty much, and just do your 20 years or 30 years, sit back, get a pension. And have a good life for yourself, as opposed to reaching out to the stars and trying to succeed and doing, making a difference in your life and in the world, pretty much.
And I have two brothers that are both police officers. One of my brothers, he retired as a lieutenant, and my other brother's a sergeant right now, and they love their profession. There's nothing wrong with civil service work. But what I'm saying is that if you have a goal in life and you want to do other things in life, go to college, I think that they should also nurture that, and they weren't doing that in my high school. I saw that very clearly.
So what put you over the mark?
What put me over the mark was I was very determined. I said, the hell with this. I'm going to apply. When I was in high school, I got great grades on my Regents exams, 90s and 99s in history and math, and they never once told me to apply to Ivy League school, but I applied to all the CUNY schools, and thank God that affirmative action was really, really strong during that period of time, and that's another subject. I think it's affirmative action nowadays.
We need to to bring you back to talk about affirmative action.
We have to bring it back, exactly. Because just because we have, thank God we have a African American president, doesn't mean that we have an equal society. I think that Congress is going towards, a lot of congressmen and senators are talking about, well, now that we have an African American president, we could cut back on quotas and bring, and then
but not so.
But it's not
because everything is still subtle.
Exactly.
Right.
It's even worse now. I think people, the majority of people in this country really are upset that we have an African American president.
Really?
So I think that white America. I mean,
you're saying they're still not ready or prepared for it.
They're not ready and prepared for it. So they're using.
They're using every excuse to come up with saying why this man was elected or
yeah. I think one thing about Obama, I voted for Obama not because he's a African American. I voted for him because he's a qualified man.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
man went to Harvard Law School and he was the number one in his class. And not only
Did
that,
you hear that? He was number one.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, he was the editor of the Law Review. Law Review in law school is the elite position. They review all the articles, law articles throughout society, and he was the editor of that article. So Obama is not only an African American, but he is a qualified, intelligent, capable individual
Mhm.
who happens to be a great listener. That's his. I think to me, that's his greatest attribute.
And do you know
Yeah,
for a fact, as an attorney, you have to be a great listener?
absolutely. That's
Right.
the key. You have to because when I was in law school, our law school professor told us the most important thing in law is not the law, because the law is always going to be there. It's the facts. All the facts in every case in the world is different. No, there's no two same fact patterns in any given case. Everybody has different
So in
fact
that
patterns.
case, okay, with the facts, okay, you know what, Sandra, I'm going to end up going on another
Okay,
subject.
go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So with the facts now, being a criminal defense attorney, how does that weigh when you got the guy who is not innocent?
Mm.
He gets to walk.